I was the daughter they forgot to love. The last thing my father ever gave me wasn't money. It was a key that looked like nothing, until I realized it unlocked the part of my life they tried to bury. My name is Anna. I'm 30. A small Midwestern town, the kind where people know your business before you do. My parents ran a diner and a few rentals they called their nest egg. Not rich, just steady. Coffee at 5 a.m., receipts crunching under a calculator. That kind of safety you feel in your bones even before you know the word for it. My sister, Danielle, who renamed herself Goldie at 13. Danielle sounds like a librarian, she said. I'm a star. And it stuck. Shiny, bright, a little expensive. People lit up when she walked in. They looked right over me to see her. The golden child and the ghost. I wasn't ugly. I wasn't dumb. I just learned early what silence buys you. If I kept my head down, Mom ignored me instead of slicing me open with words. If I got straight A's, Dad nodded, as expected, and asked how Goldie's cheer was going. When Goldie lied, it was a misunderstanding. When I told the truth, it was attitude. 8 years old. I spent hours drawing the diner, every light, every sugar shaker. Proud I showed Mom. She said, "You drew the window smudges." That's not flattering. And right then I wished I could reach into the paper and erase myself. Goldie was everything they adored. Pretty, loud, shameless in a way adults applaud. She could cry on command, wrap cruelty in silk, and you'd thank her for it. Me? I lived in the negative space. Closing shift, inventory, tills balanced to the penny. When the handyman flaked, I fixed the toilets. I thought maybe work would make them see me. I was wrong. Work made me invisible. Tuesday, in July, a duffel bag, a quiet plan, tips hidden in the sleeve of an old Nancy Drew. Architecture, that was the dream. Design spaces that don't swallow people whole. Dinner table announcement. Dad chuckled. Isn't that adorable? Mom smiled sharp. You're not college material, sweetheart. Focus on what you're good at. We need you here, I heard it clear. We need your labor. We don't need your dreams. So I left, not brave, terrified. 1 hour away, cheap room, 3 roommates, 3 jobs. Tired in a way that tasted like hope. Goldie called week 1. You think you're better than us? Then she laughed and asked for rent money. I sent it. Habit you don't even know you have until it gouges you. She called when the dishwasher broke, when a tenant yelled, when Mom got a headache. Always me. Fix it! And I did. I fixed and fixed and fixed. Graduation, no parents. The diner can't spare us. Goldie texted a photo of her nails. So proud of you, sis. Now can you co-sign a loan? Diploma in hand, feeling like half person, half wallet. I said no. She said ungrateful, like it was holy. Then Dad got sick, the kind of sick that eats the good days for breakfast. I drove him to appointments, asked questions. Doctors looked at me, not Mom. Goldie hated that I looked like a solution. Bills stacked high. I'll help, I said. Mom, help by not making this about you. Goldie, if you cared, you'd move home. I paid anyway, because even ghosts want to be seen someday. He died on a dull Wednesday after a storm. Sky scrubbed clean. I pressed my forehead to his and whispered, I love you. He blinked once, said something I couldn't catch. Then, silence. I was the only one not waiting for the paperwork. Funeral curated like an art show. Goldie performed grief, Daddy's girl, brave eulogy. I stood with a mouth full of nails, car window smashed, bag gone, note in pink ink. You always ruin everything. I didn't tell anyone. Motel room, plastic taped window. Letters didn't rearrange into an apology. A week later, the lawyer's office. You tell yourself not to hope. Lie. You hope anyway. Me, Mom, Goldie, Mr. Porter. He slid papers like apologies through a storm. The diner, the rentals, the investments. To Goldie. The house. To Mom. My name last. $1. Mom's mouth curved. Goldie pressed a hand to her chest. Dramatic. A mistake? I asked. Mr. Porter shook his head. Codicil. 2 months before he died, everything to Goldie. Danielle has always been my reliable child. Anna chose a different path. The floor didn't collapse. It slid. I pictured her hand guiding his pen. Curb, knees on concrete, sky white, heartbeat screaming one truth. You were a fool to believe work would be enough. Next morning, back to the house. Not to fight, to gather what was mine before they sold it off. Kitchen smelled of grease and coffee. Mom with a spreadsheet and wine at 9 a.m. Goldie, on speakerphone. You need to call first. I'm here for my sketchbooks. And the carved box Grandpa made me. The box is in storage, Mom snapped. Goldie, send a list. We'll see why, I asked. Why the dollar? Why any of it? Mom sipped. It's about loyalty, Anna. You've always made yourself separate, I laughed, cracked open. I paid Dad's bills. I was here, you just didn't look. Goldie smiled. Don't be dramatic. Dad said I had vision, the kind that signs checks on other people's work. I took the box. In the car, opened it. Envelope. Dad's handwriting. Anna for later. Inside, a small heavy key. Note, locker 12. Don't tell them. I'm sorry for everything I didn't see. Bank vault cold and silent. Box slides open like a secret drawer. Inside, papers, a leather ledger, a thumb drive, a letter. Anna, he wrote, I made you carry more than you should have. I kept saying I'd fix it tomorrow. Then tomorrow ran out. His handwriting trembled. The papers formed a map I didn't know I was living in. A trust, irrevocable, set up by Grandma when I was born. It owned half the rentals and land near the lake. Co-trustees, Dad and Mr. Porter. Beneficiary, me. Proof of responsibility required. Receipts for Dad's chemo. My name on everyone. Notes in his hand. She kept us going. She pays. She shows up. A deed to the cabin on Frey Lake, transferred quietly into the trust. No one noticed, because no one looked at me. It should have felt like victory. It felt like the tide pulled back to reveal a shipwreck. Mr. Porter went still. The trust supersedes the will, he said softly. Half the rentals, the cabin. Your father wasn't good with words, Anna. This was his way of saying who you are. Joy, jagged, rage alive. Because I could already hear them. You stole. You tricked a dying man. Porter warned Keeter, caution. Let me file notices. Let the law speak. But Goldie moved faster. Line of credit, fake renovations, missing diner equipment. She forgot. Half of it was mine by law. First notice hit her inbox. 6 a.m. call. How dare you? Dad wanted me. You're a snake. I said her name once. Quiet. She steamrolled it. I told her about the ledger, the illegal transfers. Silence, then a laugh. Nobody will believe you. Mom will choose me. The town will choose me. You're nothing without us. That sentence shattered like glass, and the air changed. Years keeping peace that never kept me. Jaw aching from silence. Worth measured by how little space I took. This time I stepped forward. Mr. Porter filed for injunction. Stop touching what isn't yours. We told the bank, the tenants, the wholesaler. We told the town quietly, in grocery aisles, in long handshakes. Mom, you're tearing the family apart. Me, you tore me first. I cried on the kitchen floor, then made 3 backup copies. Vulnerability isn't a plan. Paperwork is. First hearing, judge with tired eyes. She'd eaten eggs at our diner once. She read the trust. Asked Goldie why her boyfriend shared a P.O. box with the design company. Goldie smiled, sold charm like it was currency. The judge didn't buy it. Accounts frozen. Manager assigned. Forensic, she said like a scalpel. Mom glared like she could set me on fire. I just looked back. awake. Then came another letter. Evelyn Hart, Grandma's sister, the one they pretended had died, still alive, still fierce. She sent Grandma's original letter. Grandma loved Mom but didn't trust her. "If I leave the properties to my daughter or to Danielle," she wrote, "they'll sell them for vanity and attention. If I leave them to my son-in-law, he'll be coerced or worn down. Anna sees people. She does the work no one writes down. Let the child who stays when it's hard inherit the things that last." I had been carried all these years by a woman I barely knew. Then we found the siphoning, fake names, missing deposits. They drained my college fund to refloor the diner, buy Goldie a car, throw her a wedding preview birthday. I wasn't kicked out for rebellion. I just stopped being profitable to their story. Truth finds its own volume. Say it, then let the room decide who it wants to be. New evidence to the court. The forensic accountant sprouted heads like a hydra and devoured the trail. Goldie's boyfriend vanished. Mom caught trying to sell the cabin, busted by a notary who knew me. Small towns are big where it counts. Final hearing, papers stacked like bricks. I told the story like I was saying my own name. No tears, no apology, just truth. Ruling: trust owns 50% of the rentals, 100% of the cabin. Transfers: fraudulent. Restitution. The codicil can't touch the trust, neutral manager confirmed. Audit of the diner ordered. This court will not reward clever theft dressed as family loyalty. Goldie hissed like a cartoon villain. Mom, how could you do this to your sister? Me. How could you do this to your daughter? She flinched. Outside, the sun felt like a verdict and a beginning. I drove to the cabin. The key turned like it had been waiting for me. Cool air, smelling of old maps, dockboards complaining under my feet. Dad, I said, then softly, Grandma, thank you. The wind shifted like a yes, a shoebox of Polaroids, me gap-toothed with a fish, Goldie bored, Mom far away, Dad still hopeful. I touched his face. I forgive you for not being stronger. Not Goldie. She still owed accountability. Forgiveness without it is just unpaid labor. Audit found skims, under-the-table cash, funny math. We replaced theft with systems. Dishwasher got a raise. New pie case. Coffee tasted like mornings again. Goldie tried a podcast. 5 minutes and I turned it off. She tried to sell a rental. Court said no. She tried to marry a man who wanted honesty. She dumped him on livestream. I thought the ending was the ruling, the cabin, the diner reborn. But endings sneak in sideways. Mrs. Alvarez, our oldest tenant, fell on the stairs. Safe stairs, bad angle. She needed a ramp, a chairlift. She needed what we all need when the world has too many stairs. She didn't want to move, her plants, her light. I sat on the step, wire in my chest tightening, buildings either crush or carry. So I took the cabin deed and the trust papers to City Council. Sold the cabin to the county nonprofit at a friend price. They'd turn it into a respite house for caregivers and elders. In exchange, they'd help me convert 3 rentals into ADA units. Sustainable, fair, human, Mom in the back. Traitor to the family, Goldie. Grandstanding for strangers. People are the family if you let them be, I said. The council voted yes. Paper ran a photo. I didn't look like a ghost. I looked alive. Mom skipped the ribbon cutting. Goldie came, took a selfie, left early. That night, a call from a woman at the lake. Your dad rented the cabin to us for $1 when my kid needed clean air. I always knew it belonged to someone who loved it more. Thank you, parking lot. A note under my wiper. Heart stopped. Pink ink again? Different handwriting. I'm sorry. Goldie leaned on a lamppost. I used to laugh at how you worked for crumbs, she said. I didn't understand you were building something that didn't need me to clap. I thought I could fake kindness until it paid. It doesn't. I'm failing. I need help. Still Goldie, but something real inside it. Front desk job, I told her, at the respite house. Not glamorous, no stage. Show up. Take feedback. Do the job even when no one sees you. She laughed once. That's your specialty. Then she said, I'll try. As she did. Not perfect, not even good some days. But she showed up, hands learning the shape of other people's days, tears in hallways, edges softening. Mom never visited, sold her share of the diner, emails about loyalty. All the same sentence, I loved the version of you that needed nothing. On my shelf, Dad's ledger, a sugar jar from the diner. At night, I trace his handwriting. I see you too, I whisper. Not forgiveness, just healing that finally holds. The rentals hum. Mrs. Alvarez wheels her plants, smiling like power in winter. The diner smells like home again. Goldie works 4 days a week. Ring light reflections softer now. Less hunger, more light. Sometimes she sits beside me. I didn't know it could feel good to be useful. It's a different kind of applause, I tell her. Mom sends glittery cards and apologies without I was wrong. I send photos of Mrs. Alvarez's copper pot crowned in green. We're okay, I write. True, even if we're not together. By the respite house door, photo of Grandma, hair pinned, storm ready. Plaque reads, Heart Lane House. For the ones who do the work, no one writes down. Visitors trace the words like prayer. Sometimes at the lake, I walk the old dock. Breathe air that knows secrets. Think about the key. Small, heavy, not magic, just a shape that opened. And I think about the key. Small, heavy, not magic. Just a shape that opened another shape. A man trying to say I loved you the whole time in the only way he knew how, at the end. 6 months after the ribbon cutting, a letter came from a law firm in another state. Evelyn Hart had died. My grandmother's sister. She left me a small inheritance. A note. Your grandmother would have done this if she could. Spend it on something nobody can steal. So I did. I bought a piano. I don't know how to play. And lessons from a man with ink on his fingers. Now I sit at the bench and learn clumsy scales that sound like rain arguing with windows. And I think about all the rooms where I made myself small. I take up space now. I fill the house with noise that has no ledger, no invoice, no purpose, except joy. I was the daughter they forgot to love. I became the woman who remembers everything that matters. Would you fight your family in court if it meant losing them in every other way? If the proof of your worth arrived as money, would you believe it? Or would you still crave the words that never came? And when someone finally apologizes after years of harm, how much of your future do you let them hold?